Garden Maters, welcome to Corner Homestead. So today I'm back in the kitchen and I'm making another one of those fast recipes that is easy to make and sure to please. This time it is pork over rice. Now this recipe usually and does require that you put it into a slow cooker, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to prepare it the way I always do, and I'm going to put it into the oven instead of using the slow cooker. If you decide to use your slow cooker, you would prepare it exactly the same way as I'm getting ready to do today, and you would put it into your slow cooker and cook it on either low for 7 to 9 hours or high for 4 to 5 hours. That is the only difference today that I'm doing, is I'm going to use the oven instead of the slow cooker. Let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to need, I have 1 large onion here already sliced, 4 tablespoons of butter or margarine. Going to need some thyme. This is my homegrown dehydrated thyme. Going to need some parsley, some cream of mushroom soup, Worcestershire sauce. Now, as always, I use this complete seasoning blend. I get it again from BJ's. If you don't have this, you can use other seasonings to your liking. Now, you need 2 cans of beef broth or beef consomme. I do not have it, so I'm just making my own. I've got 2 beef cubes in very hot water right here, 2 cups of hot water. Gonna need your rice, some cheese, any cheese of your liking. I have some mild cheddar cheese here, and I also have some leftover the Mexican style 4 cheese. I'll be using one of them. And of course, you need your pork chops. You also need some salt and pepper. And if you have a can of mushrooms, you can also use a can of mushrooms in the recipe. I don't have any. That is why I'm going with the can of cream of mushroom soup. To use cans of mushrooms instead of the cream of mushroom soup, you would just use the consomme or the beef broth and leave out the cream of mushroom soup. Okay, so into a frying pan, we're going to add our 4 tablespoons of butter or margarine, whatever you decide to use. Just going to let this melt just a little bit. And we're going to add 2 cups of rice. We're going to cook this until it's just brown. Okay, so now that this is a little bit brown, I'm going to turn off the fire. And I'm going to add my onions. These will all cook in the oven along with it. And try to give them break them apart just a little bit in there. Get them more distributed around. So to this also, we're going to add some thyme. It's about 1/4 teaspoon. Doesn't really need much to get the flavor to go through. Also, you add a little bit of salt. And then a little bit of pepper. About 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon, depending on your taste. Now also to this, I'm also going to sprinkle in some of the complete seasoning mix. About 1 teaspoon of that. Give it a really good mix. It's already smelling very good. Okay, now if you have mushrooms and you want to add mushrooms, this is the time you would do it. You would put them right into the pan. This is just a standard 9x13 dish that I always use. I did spray it with the cooking spray. And we add all of this into the bottom of the pan. Okay, and spread it all out evenly. There we go. Now we're going to take our pork chops. I have 5 These are the boneless loin chops, and I'm just going to lay them all on top. You want at least 4. Boneless is better, but if you only have, actually 4 is all I really need. If you only have the kind with bone in the chop, that's still fine as well. I am just going to squeeze this in. It only really calls for 4. But there was 5 in the package, so why not? Okay, there we go. You would use either a 10.5 ounce can of beef consomme or 10.5 ounces of beef broth. I'm just using the 2 cups that I made, and I'm going to add cream of mushroom soup into this because I did not have the mushrooms. So I'm just going to put this in, let it soften. It's going to look kind of nasty. I'm just putting half of the can in here. And then you want to also add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I am not going to measure this again. The Worcestershire is optional. If you don't like it, you don't have to put it in. I just think it tastes better. So I'm going to take the other half a can and I'm going to put the mushroom soup around the edges of the pork chops on each side. And the mixture, you're going to pour them right over the chops. Get all that mushroom soup in there. Okay, and now I'm going to sprinkle on some of the paprika. A little more of the thyme. Thyme is extremely good with pork. It sets the flavor off. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of the complete seasoning mix to the top. Okay, and that's it for now with that. So I'm going to cover this with tin foil. So we're going to put this into a 375-degree oven for about 45 to 60 minutes, long enough for the pork to be cooked all the way through. So we'll give it about 45 to 60 minutes and give it a peek after 45 minutes just to see how it is doing. So I left it in for 1 hour, then I checked it, took it out. I added 2 more cups of water, sprinkled the cheese on top, reduced the oven down to 350, put it back in the oven for 15 minutes until the cheese melted. So fresh out of the oven, it's time to give it a taste. First I want to taste some of the rice. That's really good. And a piece of the pork. It's good. It's really good. The pork is a bit chewy. Probably because I used the boneless pork tenderloin chops. If they were thinner, or I would have sliced them thinner, maybe in half. I think the thinner they are, the better they would have tasted. But all in all, it's very good. So that's it. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here in my kitchen, and I always look forward to our time together. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Love having you as part of my community. Until next time, love you all. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you on the next video.